Morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the T95E6 and how much this tank has changed. This tank has always been one of those tanks that was there, but I mean, some people liked it, some people didn't. There's people out there that really loved the tank. I just think it was just an average tank. That wasn't any reason to play the tank. If you've got other tanks there, if you've got other premium tanks, if you have things like the Concept 1B or the E5 or anything like that, there really wasn't no reason to play this tank. But Wargaming buffed it as they have changed quite a few of the tier 10s, and they have made this tank absolutely insane. Now, if you would have watched Droodles' video on this tank, he actually said that this is the best tier 10 in the game. I don't agree with that, but in that video he did state that it was his opinion and he is entitled to that opinion. Now, with the Droodles, he did go on to say why he thinks it is the best tank in the game, which all of his reasons were kind of valid, but putting that into the game and making everything work, it is slightly different and it's slightly difficult. Of course, the turret cheeks on this has been made a little bit weaker. If they wouldn't have been made weaker, then this tank would be OP. But because Wargaming have made the turret cheeks a bit weaker, I don't think it's OP. I do think it is perfectly balanced, but I just think that this tank has been now just made very, very good. And it's nice to see that a tank that wasn't really very good. I mean, some people would say it's good, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best of tanks. It was kind of like a worst E5, like the old E5 with the hatch. The best thing with this tank, yes, look at that hatch. The hatch is massive, but it is actually very, very troll. So the hit points on this tank, 2,400. The turret is only 127 millimeters of turret armor, and the hull is 114. Of course, if you're using the gun depression, you will be able to still get some bounces. The DPM is actually really, really good at 3,100. That is really good DPM for a heavy in tier 10. Yes, there's some other heavies that have more DPM, but with the speed of this tank now, it is literally a medium destroyer. It is a medium destroyer, sorry. You can attack those mediums. You can play it like a medium and you will just be able to completely annihilate the enemy medium tanks. With the penetration that it's got as well, 258 on your AP, 340 on your heat. I don't personally like running calibrated shells with this because I do like going with my mediums, and that's why I don't. If I wanted to play this like a proper heavy, then I would probably run it with calibrated shells, but because I do like to kind of play it like a medium tank, I'm still quite aggressive in the tank, I will run the rammer just to up my DPM a little bit. But if you want to run the rammer, the calibrated shells, it is literally your choice. It's up to you. You either have more pen or more DPM. There's no right or wrong, so it's literally up to you how you play this tank and what you run the equipment with. The reload time is only 7.6 seconds. Again, that is absolutely nothing on that. It's a 400 alpha gun with 340 on your heat and 515 on your HE. Aim time isn't the worst at 3.4, dispersion isn't the worst at 0.330, but also isn't the best. And it does have a nice 10 degrees of gun depression with 50 kilometers per hour speed. Yes, 50 kilometers per hour speed, which makes it one of the quickest heavy tanks in tier 10, if not the quickest, I believe. So we're going to get into some games just to see how this tank actually plays on the battlefield. So yes, we are in an all tier 10 game. I don't agree with Droodles where he says it is the best. I don't feel that it's the best play in the game. I do think there is stronger tier 10s out there. I know he compared it to a couple of other tanks, but I get his reasoning for why he is saying it's the best tier 10, but I just don't agree. It is a super good tier 10, and it has been made very, very good. The only problem is, like, it would have been nice if this was if it was a tech tree tank. It would have been nice, you know. People are now going to say, oh, it's a premium tank, blah 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, you can see there, yeah, we didn't get that bounce from the T57, but we still managed to get the first bounce there. So now I'm going to ignore them, guys, because what did I say this tank was? It is a medium killer. It's a medium killer. But as I've said, the armor profile isn't the greatest, which is why I don't really want to attack the heavies in this tank. I'd rather attack the mediums, because you're more likely to bounce shot. You're more likely to bounce shots from them guys than you are the heavies and the tank destroyers. And you've got the DPM to keep up with them. You've got the speed to keep up with them. And again, if you, I'll go back to Droodles' video. If you did watch his video, he was keeping up with Sheridan's back chats. He was getting into positions before the enemy team was as well. And that's what makes this tank really, really good, is getting into them positions very, very quickly. And before you know it, you get into the position, an enemy medium tank comes up and gets spotted and finds him a big, nice, heavy tank to deal with, as well as the other medium tanks. That's why I do like playing this like a medium tank. Of course, there are some situations where you do have to play it like a heavy, but personally, I do enjoy this tank more now, playing it like a medium tank rather than a heavy tank. So there's just 3 tanks left alive now. Some of them are full hit points. There's the Type 71. Yeah, no idea where that shot went. That was a bit fluffed there, but we're just going to attack this guy. We know we're not going to probably win this, but we do have DPM. We don't have armor profile, and it's a 4 versus 3. So maybe I shouldn't have pushed in so quick. But I do have a couple of my tanks around somewhere. The pattern decides to go somewhere else. I do have another heavy coming this way somewhere. Here he is. The IS-7 is finally coming, and now this guy is almost a one-shot. With that ram, he is a one-shot, so we should be able to clear him, and we do just that and leave 1 tank. So even though we didn't do not much damage at all, but because of that Type 71, we've managed now to get to 3.2k damage. And again, you can do that very easily when you're attacking the medium tanks. You can do this kind of damage, 3, 4, 5, and even more damage very, very quickly. So the T57 left alive. He's 1 shot, so I am going to kill him for my 3rd kill, and we end the game with 3.8k damage. So again, nothing special. And again, I always say I don't really like showing too many overpowered games, especially from myself. One, because I can't get them. I just like showing my average kind of game. And you can see there, first class, it was quite easy to get that first class. It is going to be a bit difficult to get the ace on this tank now, because a lot more people are playing this tank, and they're doing a lot better than they used to be. This would literally one of the tanks that if you wanted an easy tier 10 ace to go play this tank, because no one really plays it. As I've said before, with the hatch, you can go hold down as long as you're sort of wiggling and you sort of look up a bit, and you can actually get more bounces than expected on that hatch. It is super troll. It's not the easiest of hatches to deal with. Like if you got, say, an E4's got the hatch, and it is very easily pennable. The 30B has got a hatch, which, yeah, you can get bounces on the 30B's hatch, but not as many bounces as this. And this is what I mean. Look how quickly we are getting to this position. The E50M has just got there. The Leopard has just got there. So I'm going to drop down here, and I'm not going to attack the 50M at the minute. Well, actually, to be honest, I am. And the reason I did this was because the enemy are capping bases A and B. So I know that with all my team here, clearing this E50M is an absolute must. And as you can see, we can get the bounces from the medium tanks as well. So the 50M is now in some bits of trouble. But right now, even though I want to clear the E50M, he is going to push forward, and a bad decision for him. We got 500 alpha there. So we have lost hit points. And now we really need to be careful of this Death Star. I really, really want to clear this Death Star. But now he has shot. We're going to go forward, and we're just going to get the shot on the T57. Now, really, we should be pushing. I know they've still got 4 tanks around this side, but we had 7. Originally, we had pretty much 7 tanks around this side. I don't know how the enemy have managed to cap A and B without my team pushing. It is frustrating when your team doesn't push, knowing that the enemy are capping 2 bases. You should be able to push. but we've managed to sort of sit back a little bit. We are sort of getting the kill still. The Death Star is back there. He doesn't have DPM, and if we can deal with this Death Star up here as well, so there's 2 Death Stars we need to deal with along with an E100. I can't get the shots, and I know that there is a Death Star there, so I'm just going to back up a bit, wait for the Death Star, and see if I can do some damage to him. And if I can rush him, I will rush him. So now I have just seen he is shot, so we can now poke forward, and we don't want to go far forward at the moment. I'm just happy sitting here with my team behind and waiting for the enemy to push, and at the minute it is the E100. So the Leopard now has come forward, and because he's now come forward, I'm going to go a bit forward. The Death Star, I did miss my shot because he died, and now I'm going to push this Death Star. I've just taken a shot from him, so I know I can get 2 shots on this guy before he's reloaded. So that's why I made that push, and when we're losing on supremacy points and it's a 4 versus 3, that push was quite important. And now last alive is the FV4005, which I'm not going to get any shots. I'm probably the only person in the world that would be able to manage to bounce this shot on the FV4005. So he's there, and I still managed to bounce him. But yeah, overall, the T95 E6 now is a fantastic tank. So well done Wargaming for actually making this a pretty solid tank. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Droodles? Do you think this is the strongest tank in tier 10 currently, or do you just think it is really, really good, or do you think it is still a poor tank that needs more? Do you think it needs more armor? Personally, with the DPM, with the speed, I think the armor is absolutely perfect. Easy to pen, but you can still get them bounces. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. For now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With